Thank you for joining us, everyone. Welcome to the Wildlife Health Solutions Center. And we're presenting our seminar on health solutions for the wildlife webinar series. So this is to help us get started with health solutions and tools that actually work. Okay. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to take this off so that we can see. Okay. So now I'm going to tell us about myself. Okay. My name is Adetutu Joshe, and I was an IT professional, banker, accountant, and business consultant for many years. I'm currently a consultant in health solutions for the wildlife. I'm also a strategic business advisor. In addition, I'm an independent insurance agent in all areas of health, including Medicare and also life insurance, as well as property casualty. My main passion is the topic of today's webinar, as it is very personal to me, and you'll find out why when I tell my story. Everything else I do feeds off of that. It is the foundation of all that I do. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the content. The first seminar, which is today's seminar, is the Wildlife and Health. Seminar 2 is Know Your Symptoms Questionnaire. Seminar 3 is Diet for the Wildlife. Seminar 4, Health, Heart, Brain, and the Wildlife. Seminar 5, Balance Your Computer Use Environment. Seminar 6, Water, Exercise, and Ergonomics. Seminar 7, The Eye, Skin, and Head Connection. Seminar 8, The World of Make-Believe Roundup and the Roundup. And each lesson includes a list of tasks and a set of suggestions for daily living. Okay. And these are the webinar series course goals. Okay, now. To educate us by providing information that gives us an understanding of the wildlife and its effects on human health, provide tools and solutions that enable us to understand and verbalize the health issues we experience in today's wildlife environment, empower us to avoid misdiagnoses that can be life-threatening in some cases, and give us the help that was not available to me. Okay. So now I'll tell you my story. Over 15 years ago, I was dying from computer use-induced health conditions. The doctors could neither diagnose nor treat. My system was breaking down, and I was told I could collapse and die as too many things were happening at the same time. A few of my ailments were heart and lung murmurs, rapid and skipping heartbeats, panic attacks, kidney stones like liver cysts, fibroids, fibromyalgia resembling all body pains, catatonia resembling issues, dizzy spells, allergies, comprehension and speech issues, ringing ears, inability to handle sound, coordination problems, severe dental problems, body electrical overcharge, vision problems, and so on. As an IT professional, I knew the only way to make it was by divine intervention by the manufacturer and programmer of my system, God himself, as I could not verbalize nor describe what was going on. I reached out in prayer, reminding him of my right to healing as a biological descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I reminded him I was in my ancestors on Mount Sinai and that he had covenanted to be my God. I reminded him that he had purchased me on the cross and taken the stripes for my sicknesses and diseases. I quoted as many passages of scriptures as I could find to make my case. I was heard, and God began to reveal to me the code of the human and how our modern life was in violation. He also showed all he had put in nature in anticipation of the time humans will get ahead of themselves. I had to lead my doctors. I helped them understand what was happening and had to lead my treatment. I was essentially my own doctor, and as I followed the directives of our maker, things began to turn around. I knew I had been saved not just for myself, but to provide help to all. I have written 15 books to help everyone, and I've been privileged to come alongside several people, not just for wildlife issues, but also cancer and other life-threatening issues. This is why I'm passionate about this subject, as I can see many suffer needlessly. Ignorance, they say, is bliss. When it comes to computer use-induced health conditions, Ignorance is suicide. You can't afford to be deliberately ignorant. The tools and resources you will come across over the next few months are what our maker provided to me. Okay. Let me get out of here so that I can, okay. Okay, we first of all start with mental and behavioral health. Our thoughts determine our mental health. Our thoughts determine our attitude. We are coded for good thoughts. Bad, evil thoughts fill us with darkness. This darkness inflicts real pain. So our thoughts are key to our mental health. We receive thoughts, they are external. We can reject them or choose to act on them. Good thoughts fill us with light. Our mental health depends on the balance of light fields we call neurotransmitters. Bad thoughts and attitudes deplete these neurotransmitters. Good thoughts build them up. We will learn more about neurotransmitters in Seminar 4 when we discuss the brain and the heart and the way they work together to determine our mental health. Now we're going to continue with the mental health and behavior. Oh, no, sometimes this thing gets ahead of itself. And so this is the questionnaire. I talked about Seminar 2 being questionnaire. Okay, this is it. We're going to be looking at that seminar at that point. I mean, the questionnaire at that point in time. Operating computers and devices deplete our neurotransmitter resources, creating imbalances that affect our behavior and mental health. And so that's why we need help to understand and verbalize. Okay, next seminar, we will go through this questionnaire and begin to learn how to understand and interpret the various ways we feel during and after computer use. In this webinar series, we will learn how to use diet. Or is that? I can't see admit. Okay, I don't. It seems as if some, okay. In this webinar series, we will learn how to use diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes to avoid disaster and become good patients our doctors love. Okay. So let me get out of here again so we see where we're at. The computer use environment is toxic, okay? And these are some of the reasons why. We do not look directly at the sun, our natural source of light, to read. We read through the rays, reducing stress. Any attempt to look directly at the sun results in automatic eye closure. The sun is very far away and the rays highly diffused by the time it gets to us, which is different from the devices that we use. Our heart, which uses our brains as the CPU of the human computer, does not recognize the computer light, as it is different from naturally coded light. Consequently, it does not stimulate the brain to carry out protective activities, such as blinking and information control. We will go into more details on the computer use environment in Seminar 5 and learn how to properly balance our environment to avoid low oxygen levels and resultant headaches, migraines, sneezing, coughing, and other ailments that can be easily misdiagnosed with serious health consequences. So let's go to, the thing we need to know is that light is stressful. Now when on this page, did you feel the difference between the prior page and the one with the light reflecting off the screen on the left? You should feel the difference internally in your heart and frontal lobe. Both the illuminating and heating elements of light are important for the computer user. So we have weapons for surviving the wired life. Okay, one of the weapons, and I guess the most important one, is a strong immune system. A strong immune system is the secret weapon for surviving a toxic environment. Okay, and the next one is a stress-reducing lifestyle. Then a diet specifically geared to building back the specific nutrients heavily used up in the wired way of life. Because we are what we eat. And our immune system is dependent on our ability to correctly determine the dangers our bodies face as a result of our daily living activities. And our Maker has lovingly provided us with a roadmap in the scriptures, which we can follow to avoid many pitfalls. We will identify some of these, we identify some during this webinar series. We were designed as creatures of exercise. Our daily activities, a continuous series of motions, exercising all our muscles in concert with each activity. The wired life violates this principle. Therefore, we must compensate. We now have to make sure that we do something about that, you know. Okay. The wildlife issues health approach. Okay, there's a pop question. The pop question thing is not working right now, but it should work in the next seminar. That's because I scheduled this seminar twice, so that created a conflict. So the pop quiz is, why should I take a computer-free vacation? You can write that in the chat on what you think that is, and let us know. Okay. The reason we have wildlife health issues we find difficult to verbalize is because it is not our natural connect. Where's that one? It is not, okay. It is not our natural connectivity wiring. See, because even though we're doing things outside of nature, we're still doing things we would normally do. We are reading with the computer, we normally would read. That's not something we don't do. We read with light, we're doing something else with the computer. With our devices, we do all kinds of things that we normally would do. The only thing is that the connectivity, it's not in the connectivity that we are coded for. So the signals can't go through the way it normally would, because we as human computers are naturally wired beings. We are wired to nature and all that therein is. Because our wiring is compromised during computer use, the flow of information is also compromised. The health approach we adopt must aim at achieving continuous reconnection of the broken lines of natural connectivity. Conventional medicine cannot do this, as drugs are not our natural connectivity repair kit. So it can't handle it. Okay, so this is the answer to the pop question. It says, it's to empower the body to rebuild. Okay. So how do we receive light? Okay. We receive light through water. The water is in the air forms the screen on which the motion picture of the earth is projected. It's like when you go to the cinema and there's motion picture, showing up. It's the screen. The water is the screen on which we see everything that we see around us. We absorb light through every surface area of the body, including our eyes and skin. In our natural connectivity, water is the medium through which connectivity is achieved. In fact, nothing can come into nature unless it starts in the incubation in the water. A baby has to be, in the mother's womb. A seed has to be in water. So there's no way to come in to start the process without the water medium. So the internal process in the computer is not laden with water. And so the light it produces dehydrates us. Because for us to be able to receive it, it has to go through the water. It's not coming with water. It must soak up everything around us and in us. So we can begin to have some things that look like kidney issues, which are not really kidney issues, but as a result of the dehydration we experience. And we can also have things like dry eyes that don't really deal with the eyes, but with the skin around the eyes. There are all kinds of things. Our heart does not process, the light that comes off the computer as it processes natural light, because it does not have the same neurotransmitter composition as the natural light. There are no stress handlers to control the flow of information. The result is information overload, and we feel overwhelmed. Okay. Please mute yourself. Okay. And so why do we get...
This is a Transparent Express service to Glasgow Central.
Okay, now let me mute. Oh, okay. Okay. So why do we get okay? So as people come in, we have to let them in. Why do we get misdiagnosed? Okay. Coded systems depend on an understanding of system-generated error reports to fix problems. We as humans produce error reports called ailments and sicknesses and diseases in our human system. Please mute yourself. Somebody is on the phone. Our understanding of these reports determine our diagnosis of the problem. The human intellectual science is limited to what we can see and consequently is grossly inadequate in understanding the unseen area of our system, which is the area affected by our compromised wiring. Misdiagnosis comes from our inability to accept the limitations of the realm we can see and touch. However, the realm that controls the physical, which can only be revealed by a maker, is what we need to understand, because that's where the problem is. Okay. And most of the solutions that we need are available in nature. Okay. Our maker has given us everything for our healing: the air, water, food, and our bodies. The way in which we handle these natural resources will determine our ability or inability to self-repair, as the body was built to self-repair. It must self-repair. We have foods, for example, that operate as antivirus software. We also have exercises we run through the system, to help. Water cleans the electrical sensors and magnets that generate the electromagnetic fields in us. Computer viruses actually are aptly named, as they, like the biological viruses, are engineered to compromise the system's protective resources. Our computer use is like the flu we have chosen to live with as humans. Okay. So now, why do we need our doctor's help? Okay. It is important to be monitored with regular blood work that can provide an indication of the level of nutritional depletion. It will not tell the whole story, especially about ionic levels, as this cannot be detected by human equipment. Okay, that would so that sometimes when you're supposed to not be depleted in something because you have enough, but you're still showing symptoms of depletion, that means those are ionic level depletions, and that can only be, so you need to correct your food, because of the, through the food you'll be able to build that up. Okay. It is also important to have someone to talk to who will not be judgmental. Having someone to talk to is very, very, very important, because we are creatures made to communicate by speech, and words, spoken words, is how everything came to be. So words, so it's important to have someone to talk to avoid depression and all kinds of things, and to be healed from those things too. Your doctor knows you and can detect when something is wrong, even if they do not know exactly what is wrong, and you can work with them, as I had to. All you need is a doctor who is willing to consider using natural medicine. Our maker has coded us with food, water, natural light, natural lifestyle activities, exercises, and so on, as our medicine in the wildlife environment. These are the only medicines that work. I was blessed to have doctors when I was sick, who were ready to work with me, and together we worked things out. It got to a point when I I actually told a particular doctor I wanted to take a supplement, and the doctor said, no, not for you. You know what to do. You pray. Let's know what's going on, and you will know what to do. And then how to be proactive with your doctor. Eat natural food cultivated in the way they were created to be. That is, no GMO, artificial fertilizers or herbicides or chemicals, and discuss your use of natural medicine with your doctor. You have to be on the same page with your doctor, so that they will know what you are doing, because food is medicine. Okay. For example, garlic has natural ibuprofen. So, if you take a lot of garlic and they're giving you ibuprofen again, you could have an overdose. So, but when you talk to your doctor, you to prevent those things, because many doctors actually know these issues, but because our medical science says that you have to treat people with drugs, the doctor is not going to introduce this to you. But if you introduce this to the doctor and the doctor knows that you're consistent, your doctor will work with you. So discuss your lifestyle and diet, exercise regimen, and how you are trying to use them to resolve your issues and be consistent. Discuss this series and what you learn with your doctor, so your doctor knows you're serious about going natural. Be consistent. That is very important. Exhibit good lifestyle choices. At the end of seminar 3, which deals with diet, I will provide us with a suggested range of foods we can introduce into our diet. The book Lessons I Learned the Hard Way is a perfect resource for this, because it's got a whole chapter and a lot of appendices and all that talk about that. These are resources and knowledge that work. These are the 15 books that I have written. There is Lessons I Learned the Hard Way, How to Identify, Minimize, Treat, and Manage Computer-Related Health Conditions. This is like a reference book. It's 300 pages and very comprehensive. There's Computer-Related Health Conditions, Understanding the Human Computer, Healing, Juice and Smoothie and Milkshake Recipes, juices, smoothies, and milkshakes that help the body achieve its self-healing process, healing meals, recipes, meals that help the body achieve its self-healing process, cyberbullying, how and why bullies operate, global epidemic, the human abuse of the computer, computer use addiction and withdrawal symptoms, what you need to know, teen and adult texting addiction, what you need to know, allergies, asthmas, and computer use, the contributory effect of computer use to allergies and asthma trends, computer use induced stress, what you need to know, the health effect of video games, what you need to know. Okay, so let me go here again. Okay. So, and then you have eyes, vision, and computer use, how you can protect yourself from technology use induced harm, obesity and computer use, what you need to know, water dehydration and computer use, learn how to protect yourself. The health effect of computer use on women, what every woman needs to know. There's some of us who actually have all these books, but then they're on the shelf. We have not even read one of them. So, it may be good for us to, especially going through this series, I'm going to be referring to the books. Okay. So the tools that make the resources to work. Knowledge is one thing, and you can do a lot by reading yourself, but there are also some tools. What I call tools are what I would call the processes, some of the processes that the Lord took me through, that the Spirit of the Lord took me through to get me to the point where I could understand and then could do the things that that was needed. We have 3-level personal health assessment questionnaires. Those detail the kind of questions that I was being asked. But so we're going to deal with one of them next seminar. There's Breakthrough Fact Sheet Program. It's a 1 sheet per week for 6 weeks. 1 sheet on something in particular, and it all talks about it. Then I have the power videos, 1 to 2 minute videos, set of weekly videos, 1 a week for 10 weeks. Targeted health assessment questionnaire to assist with life-threatening issues such as cancer, which I use with some people that actually come to me with that issue. And there is the detailed treatment program you can share with your doctor if you have life-threatening issues such as cancer and so on, which I use with the people who come to me. Okay. Controls, okay. And then we have blog articles, Ask the Expert session. There's something that I would like to do after the seminars round up, so that every 2 months, once every 2 months, people can ask questions, And then there's diagnosis online game. I'm currently working on that. There's advanced assessment questionnaire for the use of medical personnel only. This is extremely comprehensive, and unless one is a medical professional, I can guarantee that you'll be overwhelmed. So this is only for medical personnel. What I intend to do with the website, the center, is to have something that will only be accessible to doctors alone. Okay. So if you're not in the doctors, nurses, people in that, profession, anyone who's not in that profession, I would not give that to them. So there is website membership, which will only be available to people who either attend the webinar series or complete the alternate study route. Okay. And so let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now we come to the world of make believe, because that's what we all have, what we encounter today with the computer use and the need for entertainment. In today's world, we have bought into the idea that we need to be entertained to cope with problems. But if we look at, if we're people who know the scriptures, we know that that's what happened to the people in the days of the flood of Noah, because the earth was difficult, things were difficult, the earth wasn't producing the way it was. So there was depression, there was all sorts, and they resorted to entertainment, and everybody got lost. Unfortunately, entertainment is not the way we are coded to resolve problems, resulting in connectivity issues. It may instead create an inability to accept truth and hard facts, and so be unable to turn things around. The first man, for example, was trained to program nature. It was only limited to animals. He was trusted because he could be trusted not to go beyond the boundaries set by our maker. We are limited in our ability to control things by design. This we have to accept, which is difficult. Okay. Today, people have bought into the idea of the virtual world, where they have relationships and jobs and all kinds of things just on the internet. That's the virtual world, that are just the way they want. And they pay a lot of money to have this environment designed for them. This dehumanizes and sets people up for depression and other mental anguish. Okay. And so why 8 seminars? The first thing is because humans feel threatened by computer use induced health conditions, as all our lives in today's world rely on one form of computer use or another. The second thing is that the human mind needs repetition of facts from different angles to understand issues. We don't immediately understand issues. Sometimes we think we do, but we invariably find that we didn't understand it the first time. Then truth is difficult for the human mind to accept and process. And that is true. And it is difficult for the human to accept the limitations placed on us for our own good by our maker. So things are best done when it's done like in terms of understanding piecemeal and from different angles. And that makes us more comfortable. Again, another thing is that most people have little or no understanding about what they're up against, and knowledge takes away fear and the feeling of hopelessness. Okay, there is confidence once you have knowledge about one's ability to manage so you feel better able to handle things and not overwhelmed. Okay, so there are two options for participating. You can complete, the first one is to complete this 8 webinar series and go on to website membership in order to continue receiving content. That's what is recommended. And then there's a second approach. For those who feel 8 seminars is too long, you can transition at some point to do it yourself. That the books are there and all, that is not recommended. And so this is the cost. Okay. There is, for everybody, this is a regular price. I've not made it expensive. I've made it something that, because what I have found, from all these years with the books and all, is that when it comes to this computer use induced health conditions, this is something that you need, but which you don't want to know, but you need to know. So I've discovered that, making it something like, I try to have some free books, but those don't work. Nobody, because once it is paying, even if it's a little bit of money, helps people to make use of the resource. So it is $50 per webinar. That's the regular price, but $20 for people on governmental assistance, such as Medicaid, or those who are in employment, or those who are students. Okay. So and then there's a special rate for international participants in certain countries with special payment methods. Okay. This will be communicated to participants in those countries upon registration, or if they contact me directly through the website or by email. What I want right now is for everyone to go to the chat and put in your first and last name, your email address, and the country, you know, so that I can get to you. Will you let me help you? Because we are being recorded right now. Okay. So I would say, if there are some people who you feel that you have some members of your families, for your friends and things, who could not come in today, but who would need this series, I'm going to send a copy of the recording to everyone. So that's why I need your email addresses. I'm going to send a copy so you can get them in, so that they can come to the questionnaire. Once we go past the questionnaire, no one can join in, because it's not going to work for them. They won't have enough information for the next one and the next one and the next one, because the questionnaire is very important. It gets us to begin to think and brings us into a frame of mind able to receive. So once you get past that, you can't now come in, because your frame of mind has not been prepared. So in summary, the wired life is a virus in our natural human system we have chosen to live with as people on the earth. It will always hurt, but we can identify, minimize, and treat its consequences. So we are not overwhelmed. We can gain control. So we are natural computers. So the concept of being wired is not alien. It is our natural way of being. The only problem is that, like anything coded, our connectivity pathway is cast in stone as coded by our maker. And the only way to have computers that do not hurt is to repent from everything preventing us from receiving such a device from our maker right now. And I'm not sure that's going to, when that will happen. Okay, so thank you everybody for listening. I have, like I said, there will always be suggestions, and there will always be things to move us to the next one. So these are suggestions for success. Sign up for webinars 2 through 8. The sign up for webinar 2 and on will be available in the next 24 hours. So Tuesday, you'll be able to sign up and you'll be able to know what date that is. Okay, so, and then get hold on as many of the resources I have listed as possible and read them. In fact, that's why I asked you to give me your email addresses, because I will send you the link once I've sorted out the sign up for webinars 2 through 8. And then use the tools I'll be providing each seminar. Be consistent, even if it seems nothing is working. Some processes take, please, somebody is on the telephone or something. Please mute yourself if you're not muted. Please be consistent, even if it seems nothing is working. Some processes take a long time to be reflected on the canvas of our bodies as the necessary neurotransmitters are being built up. Know the repair work is going on. After something, that's why sometimes you're trying to do something, and like if you are sick or something, you all of a sudden you find that you can do something. You see, the repair work was going on in the background. And when you had enough neurotransmitters, or we say light fields or balance of light fields, to carry out a particular action, you automatically did it. So do not run away from the sun. Locate your computer near a window. Drink good water in place of soda and coffee when in front of the computer. Invest in yourself and your health and financial future by attending all the seminars and becoming a site member when that becomes available. Okay. And so these are preparation questions for seminar 2. Like I said, I'm sorry that I have the pop-up questions, but the pop-up system isn't working for this seminar, because I what do you call it? I set it up twice, and so that created some conflict. So, but you can write in the chat. This is the first question. Okay, I sneeze. These are things to help us to begin to think of what's going on in us. I sneeze often when in front of the computer because the oxygen level is lowered by computer use. Is that true or false? So let me know what you think. And the answer is true. Operating computers and devices produce carbon dioxide, which depletes the oxygen level. So that's why it's a good idea to have plants, green plants. Green plants produce oxygen and they take away the carbon dioxide. Okay. We'll talk more about that when we come to our environment and how to handle that and make sure that that is well balanced. Okay. Now, okay. Okay, this is the second question. No, this is question one. It's question two. So that's question two. Okay. Okay. What are computer use induced health conditions? Pick one. There are four answers. Headaches, migraines, dizziness, heart murmurs only. Conditions that make computer use difficult, like carpal tunnel only. Conditions that make computer use uncomfortable and sometimes overwhelming. Conditions that wear off as you get used to the wildlife. What do you think? Write it in the chat. Okay, so now I'm going to give us the answer. Okay, so this is the answer. Conditions that make computer use uncomfortable and sometimes overwhelming. These conditions may include headaches, migraines, dizziness, carpal tunnel resembling discomfort, cancer, asthma-like symptoms, heart and lung murmurs, kidney, liver, and other organ issues, bipolar, schizophrenia, and so on. They do not go away as you get used to computer use. They must be identified and controlled. They will not go away of their own self. So we go on to question 3. Okay, this is like the first one. I can be misdiagnosed because wildlife health issues mimic other more commonly identifiable ailments and can be misdiagnosed for those ailments with dire consequences if medicated as if they are those other conditions. Is that true or false? What do we think? Okay, this is the answer. It is true. Wildlife health conditions are routinely misdiagnosed because the health profession, for the most part, has not yet moved into the acceptance of the current situation, because that is what the general public, that's the situation and the place where the whole population is. Okay, because computer use induced health conditions are not easy to accept, like we said. It's tough and hard. And so they do not understand the fact that the human is a naturally coded computer with pre-coded limitations that are not subject to the user's beliefs and ideas. We've all bought into ideas. I think this, or this is my own idea, but we're in a computerized system. It's like with the computers that we have. What you think about whether Microsoft Word can give you some formulas or not doesn't matter. It's not designed to produce formulas. It's not going to give you formulas. And there is no amount of thinking and belief that will change that. It's because a coded environment is an environment of absolute truth. It's operating absolute truth, regardless of the beliefs and ideas of the users and the machines, the equipment themselves. Depends on what the person who put it together says. Okay, so we've come to the end of our webinar. As I said, please provide me with your information, or you can contact me directly at adetutujoshi@gmail.com. I'll be sending out the recordings so you can share that. And please go online and sign up as soon as you get the link. You can sign up. I'm going to make it so that you can sign up for everything all at once, or you can sign up, each time. Okay, so see you in seminar 2, and stay safe, everybody, and have a blessed week. Bye-bye. Hello, are there any questions? I forgot to ask. Is there anybody that wants to ask any questions? You can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. Hello? Okay. Since there are no questions, nobody wants to ask any questions. So I am going to close off now. Okay.